Corner. Excitement is building as week 1 approaches.
Who has the best chance to dethrone Tom Brady and the Pats?
Will Patrick Mahomes win back-to-back MVPs?
Are the Cowboys still an accident waiting to happen?
How do? Which new face will have the biggest impact in their new place? We have the best debate previewing the 2019 campaign.
And then we're going to have a good nice little bowl of gumbo together.
So to get your football fix, it doesn't get any better than right here on First Take.
Andrew Luck announces retirement tonight. How stunning is that to you? Yes.
That is stunning to me. That is stunning to me. I did not hear that news.
Knowing his toughness and his mental toughness, this does surprise me.
The truth is, nobody's in his shoes. Nobody's had to go through what he's had to go through. Nobody's been through the rehab and the injuries. Everybody sees game day, but they don't see the off seasons. They don't see the Monday through Friday and doing whatever he possibly can to get his body ready for the game. So I respect the hell out of it.
We're human beings. We're not robots. You know what I'm saying? You can't turn us on, turn us off when you want. Like, it don't happen like that.
We're looked at as superheroes, as these not human beings. And for him to have that human element, express it in the press conference after the game, go and talk to the media, answer questions, I thought that was really big.
Fantastic human being, and I know he'll do great. I mean, football will just be a stepping stone for him to do something else special, and I look forward to seeing it.
The era of Andrew Luck is over, but maybe no one knows the 2012 number 1 pick better than the man who went number 2 in that same draft. Joining us now is Ravens quarterback Robert Griffin III. All right, RG3. What's up? Thanks for joining us.
What's up? How y'all doing?
It's good to see you, bro. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
All right, it kind of seems like you're forever be intertwined with Andrew Luck, and he makes that shocking announcement Saturday night. What went through your mind when you heard the news?
Yeah, I mean, I had just finished watching a Netflix movie and turned on the TV and saw that he retired, so I was definitely shocked. You know, knowing him and knowing his personality, knowing, how tough he is, it really must have been something that was eating away at him for him to make that decision.
RG3, when I look at it, and like, a lot of people are taking, pointing the finger at the fans in terms of them booing him and what have you. And I just said, listen, you don't applaud it. Certainly you don't want to see something like that. But in that particular moment, the reason why I say I understand it, because I contextualize it like this. Jim Brown retires in July of 1996. Barry Sanders retired in July of 1999. Calvin Johnson retired in March of 2016. Andrew Luck, I think the only thing negative that could possibly be peeled from this is somebody saying, damn, couldn't you have, a week and a half before the season began? Didn't you know this a month ago? Didn't you know this 2 months ago? What do you say to people that have those feelings about it?
I think it's a fair opinion. It's a fair statement because from a teammate standpoint, you're 2 weeks away from the season and you're not going to have your QB1 there with you. But I think if you look at the way his teammates have reacted to it in particular and the support that they've shown him, they understand that this is something that he's been contemplating for a while. And they know him better than anybody. So if they're supporting him and they support his decision, then I think everyone else outside should as well. But it's fair to have that critique of how soon it is to the season. And everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But for me, I respect his decision. I've known Andrew for a long time now. We've been competing silently way back since high school. And it really must have been something that he just felt was the right thing to do. He didn't want to go out on that field and not give 100% for his teammates, and I can definitely respect that.
Well, what'd you think of the boos, Robert? Were you surprised by that? It was loud, it was clear as he was walking off the field, and they're learning he's retiring. What'd you think of all that?
Yeah, I think the boos are something that those fans probably wish they had back. When you look at what he's done for that organization and how many times he's played injured and played through injuries for a duration of a season, he's putting a lot of time and effort not only to that community but for that organization and his teammates. So I think those fans wish they could have it back, and my honest opinion is it was wrong. I've never personally been booed at any stadium. Even back in Washington, I've never been booed. So I don't understand that feeling. But when you're announcing your retirement and it's a really, really tough decision, something that you have to tussle with for a while, to hear the fans boo you probably was heartbreaking for Andrew. And I know he said it after at his press conference that it hurt him. And I can definitely understand why.
RG3, obviously Andrew Luck went through a lot of injuries, and you did as well throughout your career. when you're sitting out a season as an athlete as well, sometimes they say, you know, the mind can go to a dark place, and those hits can not only be physical, it could be affecting your spirit and your mental and your mind and everything. Can you take us through what it's like for an athlete, a quarterback, to go through that, and perhaps how you think that affected Andrew's decision to retire?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he necessarily said this, but depression is a real thing and it's a real issue. And, you know, he talked about when he came back and Jacoby was in his spot, QB1 leading his team, and how jealous and how angry he was about that. And I think that's a real thing. People have to realize only one quarterback plays at this level, and really at any level, but one quarterback plays and one quarterback leads that team. So he was dealing with that a little bit as well, I would guess. And, you know, it's really tough when you can't go out there and do the thing that you love the most. And there's another thing to add to that. It's there's an element of, like I've said before, people don't look at us as human beings. They look at us as superheroes. And there's an expectation that comes with once you've achieved a certain level of success, that expectation continues to follow you for the rest of your career. And I think that might be something that Andrew is also dealing with. He's a great player. He's had great success at the NFL level. And to live up to that, you have to fight through those injuries and keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back.
RG3, put it in perspective. I probably know the answer to this question, but as a player, as somebody that was in that same draft as a number 2 overall, put this into perspective. What are the fans to make of, or what should we all walk away from thinking about Andrew Luck once you take into consideration his decision to walk away when the Indianapolis Colts, some would say, have the best chance at a Super Bowl championship that they've had in his entire time there? Their offensive line is big time. You've got T.Y. Hilton still there. You acquired Funches. Ebron's your tight end. You got a running back in Mack. I mean, you look at this squad, particularly when you see some of the question marks in Pittsburgh, in Kansas City, in L.A. with the Chargers, even with the New England Patriots now that Gronk retired. Some would argue the Indianapolis Colts are in prime position to compete for a Super Bowl championship. So if you're a fan or you're as a player want to send a message to the fans to try and explain why everybody should understand Andrew Luck picking this moment to walk away, what do you say to them?
I mean, Stephen, that's a tough question. That's a hard-hitting question. And what I would say is that teams all the time in this league, the NFL, they make decisions that are best for the team without even thinking twice about it. Yeah. So in this moment, Andrew's making the decision that's best for him. Right. And I think that's why a lot of players respect his decision, because it takes a lot of courage to do that. You know, I'd say from a team standpoint, they'd have to go through us in Baltimore first, but, you know, that's how we feel. Mm-hmm. And no team is really looking at their roster saying they have question marks, at least not as players. You know, you believe in the guys that are around you. You believe in the guys that you have in your locker room that you're going to go out and be successful. But on the outside looking in, yeah, I don't think there is a great explanation for it, aside from Andrew Luck decided to make a decision that was best for Andrew Luck and his family. And no matter how you feel about that, he's at peace with that decision. And now it's up to you guys to debate it and critique it however you feel deem fit.
We had this debate earlier with Keyshawn Johnson, RG3. Do you think Andrew Luck is done, or do you think he's going to come back at some point?
Whew. I mean, I don't know. You know, I talk to him, my family talks to his family, my mom talks to his mom, and I think right now he's at a place where he really does think he's done with football. But he could easily change his mind. You know, he's 29. He's got a lot of years of football left. Shoot, I want to play till I'm 45. So he's got a long time to contemplate that decision. But at the same time, right now, he says he's done. So you got to take a man for his word and let him go enjoy his life with his family.
All right, RG3, thank you so much for joining our show. We appreciate your insight.
I just want to say, the one part I don't like about RG3 is that he's too damn good at this. I mean, all our jobs are in trouble. You know what I'm saying? All our jobs are in trouble. I just want to be very clear.
He's going to play till he's 45.
I'm just trying to say, but he's going to play till he's 45, RG. Play until you're 45.
RG3, when you're 46, you think you're ready to debate Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, oh, Lord.
Hey, why not? Let's do it. Hey, we can do it, but I just want you to know know, hey, I just want you to know that, I heard on the intro you were saying that my careers have been derailed by injury, but I'm still out here fighting. And I appreciate the Baltimore Ravens for giving me that opportunity. But when the time comes at 46 years old, I'll be right there with you, Stephen A. Let's get it.
Well, we wishing you nothing but luck, my man. Stay healthy, bro.
Right on. Continue to
Appreciate
fight.
you, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, plenty more still to come on First Take, including if Jared Goff is under most pressure in the NFC West